I'm Alexander Ron.
I'm Emil McNew.
I'm Aaron Madison Reed.
Jack.
Okay, first question. Some critics say that Hester Prynne was the first American heroine. Others, however, say that her somewhat silent suffering isn't truly heroic. What qualities and actions make a character heroic? Are there any heroes or heroic actions in the Scarlet Letter? Defend your answer. I said, firstly, for the first question, what qualities make a character heroic? I said, the qualities that make a hero is selflessness, bravery, and standing up to the wrongdoing. For the second question, are there any heroes or heroic actions in the Scarlet Letter? Defend your answer. I said, in this book, I don't think anyone is a hero because of the fact no one would try to defy the rules. Everyone was not brave enough to stand up or speak out about wrong unless it would no longer affect them, like how Dimmesdale at the end. And I used that quote, by bringing me hither to die this death of triumph, ignominy before the people. And I used that because when he was on his right before he was about to die, he said said that to take away his sin before he died, and he would no longer have a consciousness of it.
For the first question, I put what makes a hero is selflessness, loyalty, bravery, and humility. And then for number two, what qualities and actions make a hero heroic? And are there any heroes or heroic actions in Scarlet Letter? I said there is no heroes in Scarlet Letter because no one in here has any heroic acts or traits. And then I put when Dimmesdale was talking about how guilty he felt walking into the public, said isn't inconceivable the agony with which this public penetration tortured him.
Okay, so for the first question, I said what makes a character heroic is bravery and selflessness. In my opinion, I don't think there are any heroic actions in the Scarlet Letter because, again, everyone keeps to themselves.
Just keep on going.
Keep going. You got
yeah.
this.
At the quote where Dimmesdale wanted to get rid of his sin because he wanted to get rid of his sin, not because it was heroic, but because he wanted.
You wanted to make sure he didn't end up in a bad place.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure he didn't get sent to hell.
He did it out of selfishness.
Yeah, he did it out of his own.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, literally, no one in here is a good person by any means, bro. I mean, I don't feel like it's that hard to not cheat on your husband or wife. Alright, hot take. I don't think it's that hard.
I too put selflessness as what needs to be a hero. I think it's interesting to pick that. I also put loyalty. And I also put, in their society, it's encouraged to not be a hero. It's almost encouraged to be selfish. And the quote I used for this, it's the quote I found at the beginning of the book, and it's, what do we talk of marks and brands, whether on the body that's up or down, or the flesh of her forehead? So yeah, that's what I put.
Okay, so for number two, if Hester Prynne is the protagonist of the Scarlet Letter, who's the antagonist, arguments can be made not only for Roger Chillingsworth and Governor Bellingham, but also perhaps for Arthur Dimmesdale, and even for the Puritan society as a whole. Which of these characters, if any, do you believe serves as the villain in the novel? Why? What qualities and actions make a character villainous? If you believe there are no villains in the story, why do you feel that is the case? So, I do believe that there are villains in this story. I said the people who I believe are the antagonists of this novel is Chillingsworth, the Puritan Society, and Dimmesdale.
So you picked everyone.
Yeah, basically everyone. I say this is because Dimmesdale initially slept with Hester, which started off all the chaos that ensued for this book. And then I put, but when Chillingsworth decided to make it his goal to find the affair partner, he turned twisted and also slowly hurt Dimmesdale. And then I put, but the Puritan Society is no better, shunning Hester away and having strict rules and side glances to make life feel awful for Hester. I put the qualities that make a character villainous is cruelty, lack of empathy, deception, and arrogance. For my quote, I also put a quote from Chillingsworth: I shall see him tremble. I shall feel myself shudder, suddenly and unawares.
Yeah. I said the antagonist was Chillingsworth, and that it wasn't even close because he's the guy who pushes the story the most. And yeah, like the other guy probably shouldn't have slept with Pearl. I mean, not Pearl, I mean Hester. But I think Chillingworth definitely pushes it a lot more than anybody else in the story. I said no one is a villain because everyone kind of sucks in their own regard. If you don't have a hero, you can't really have a villain. So I said that.
Yeah.
I said everyone exudes an awful personality combined with extreme guilt and not being able to take accountability. I think that's kind of what Alex was talking about, like how it's based on the Puritan Society is based on that. And I said the qualities that make a villain are like cunning, sly, untruthful, unloyal, and have like set goals on like what to do. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's interchangeable with a lot of stuff I just said, but I don't know. I put the same quote that Alex did because I could not find another quote that made any sense.
Okay.
So who I think is the villain is Chillingsworth because, you know, it makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think we all picked Chillingsworth.
Yeah, you know, like he's mad at Hester for cheating like on him. He wants to find the other wants to find like Dimmesdale.
Yeah.
And like I think the actions and qualities that make a character villainous is like their lack of empathy and like their vengefulness towards others. A quote is like a quote I put was in the prison, like where Hester was at. Chillingsworth said like how he was angry and wanted like revenge, but not towards Hester, but like towards Dimmesdale.
Yeah.
Like because.
Alright, my turn? Okay.
Yeah.
I put, just because the character is a protagonist doesn't make them the hero. I feel like we can all agree about that with Hester. But I also, the other is true too, just because the character is an antagonist doesn't really make him a villain.
Yeah.
He can just be the obstacle. That being said, the antagonist / villain is Chillingsworth.
Yeah.
And that's what I put. He's the obstacle in Hester's way. And the only quote I could find to kind of show this, it's a long quote, so I only put like a little bit of it, but Hester kind of like sees him in a crowd in the market, and he just has this smile on his face, and she describes it as it conveyed secret and fearful meaning.
Yeah, I don't remember reading that part.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Alright, number 3.
Alright.
And remember, it just has to be a minimum of 50 minutes. We can go overtime.
Yeah.
We are not going overtime.
I think we're gonna have to.
Alright. Throughout
9 minutes.
Throughout America's history, there have always been laws that regulated citizens' personal behavior. Among the Puritans of the 18th century, for example, adultery was a serious crime, as the Scarlet Letter makes clear. Today we have laws forcing motorcycle riders to wear helmets, laws against speeding on empty highways, and many others. Where should society draw the line between personal and political actions? Should society have the right to tell you how to behave on your own time? Why or why not? I said, society should draw the line when it comes to your own personal life, or I said should not, but should only step in when it harms someone else or dramatically affects someone or different people. Society, and then I said for the second part, society should not have the right to tell people to behave on their own time, because it is the choices you want to make, and the only way to tell us how to behave on our own time is if it negatively involves others. And plus, we live in America, which is a free society, which we shouldn't be told what we're not and allowed, what we are and not allowed to do.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of said the same thing that Alex said about like drawing the line at like your own personal expense. Like I think you can be like, I think like it's the same thing with like the same thing with like drinking. Like, yeah, you can have a few drinks, but as soon as you're like do something stupid, I think that's definitely on you.
Yeah.
Same thing with like adultery in here, where it was like it wasn't really a problem until people found out, and then it hurt a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said society should have some right, because there usually has to be a basic standard for living life and just being like an okay person.
Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah, like seriously.
Yeah, I basically agree with what you two are saying. I do think that like society should step in if like what you're doing is harming others, you know, negatively, obviously. But I don't think they should tell you like what is wrong every time you're, you know. Basically what you guys just said.
Basically the same thing. I put like the Puritans were too strict. Cheating is wrong, but it shouldn't be a crime. A law like that could turn marriage into like a transaction, and partners would be more like property.
Yeah,
and that's not good.
Well, they hailed all that from like the Victorian age of like selling your like daughter off to marriage and stuff like that. And so they took that over.
For my cook, I just put the whole book.
Yeah,
the whole book. I think proves all of that.
Basically.
Yeah. All right, last question. Let's do this thing.
Number 4.
Then we can talk about LeBron.
Does the character of Pearl seem realistic? Some readers of the Scarlet Letter think she seems much older than her age, far too mature for a young girl. Can you think of any reasons why Pearl seems so unlike a child at times? Why? Pearl is also a very angry child, angry with her mother in particular. Does this seem like a realistic trait as well? Why? So, for the first one, I said Pearl does seem like a realistic character because she's kind of like acting like a normal kid. I in my eyes, I feel like, because in the Puritan view, they like have to act all civilized, but kids normally don't act all civilized. They, I guess, like they want to have fun and they want to rebel. That's what a kid does. And then
that's their job.
Yeah, and then for the second part, I put Pearl might seem so unlike a child at times because of the way she was raised. She was not raised like every other Puritan kid because of Hester's cheating, forcing her to live life in isolation. For the third one, I said being angry does seem like a realistic trait for her because being isolated and not allowed to stray away too far and not even having a true family might make anyone mad. Like not even having a father, or having a father but knowing that he's not allowed to even associate with you would make me very angry and mad and just want to rebel against my mother to go to my father probably.
Yeah, I low-key said she was unrealistic because there's just some stuff I'm like, man, she is just so creepy and so like, it just doesn't seem something like, I know she's not a normal kid by any standards, but
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there's no way a kid should be that angry at that age. I'm like, because like, what is she like 5, 7 years old?
6, 7.
Yeah,
like
like
that.
No, I don't know a 7-year-old that's been that mad at something like that. Like
You'd be surprised.
Oh yeah.
Wait for mine.
I think they get mad over less.
I low-key think she's
Have
like,
you told a child not to have sugar?
I low-key think she's like 13 years old.
Yeah.
So it would make a lot of sense because like, I don't know, she's that mad, she's got to be a little bit older.
And I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Amo when he says like she's kind of unrealistic because like he said.
Now, what are you? You can't be that mad as a 7-year-old. That's all I'm saying. To be so honest.
She's a lot more like wilder than like a normal child, in my opinion. and it kind of shows because like the other kids are like more, you know.
Well, they got to be quote unquote normal.
I mean,
She
yeah.
was isolated.
Yeah, but also like I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like that wouldn't make you like. I don't
Yeah.
Uh,
It, yeah.
know.
Everyone has a different
Yeah.
personality.
This is true.
My turn?
Yeah.
Alright. Hot. I've been hyping this up. I have the hottest take on her. She's the most realistic character in this whole book.
Two
Alright.
people agree, two people disagree.
There's this term called honorary adult, and you see this a lot with child actors. They become a source of income, so they become an honorary adult, missing out on their childhood. The same can be said for Pearl. She was raised in a situation like we can only imagine, of like she was isolated. She couldn't. I don't even think she could like go to school. I don't even think they touched on that. And they did, I forgot. So it's like she's just in here all the time. She doesn't have a dad. She probably knows her mom cheated.
Yeah.
That's what got them in this whole place. So like, yeah, she has every right to be mad, but also like her mom's a wreck, rightfully.
This is true.
Everything is going south.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
She was put in a situation no kid should.
this is very true. All right, we're done.
Alright.
All right,